Welcome back to the 2020 Myrtle Beach Open Round 2 Back 9 at Socastee Recreational Park. This event is brought to you by Grip Equipment and driven by Innova. The coverage is sponsored by OTB. I am Nathan Queen, again joined with my metal long-haired friend, Trevor Harbolt.
What's up? Man, I'm kind of like looking out these windows. I'm like, man, I wish I knew how to surf.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful beach view here while we're doing the commentary.
We got some good golf going on, too.
Yeah, great golf. We had Chris Dickerson with a 5 down on the front 9, Brian Earhart 4 down, Ezra Aderhold 3 down, and Austin Turner 2 down, looking to turn it on the back. Hole 10 is a pretty attackable hole to get started as well.
I wonder if Ezra's going to throw a putter.
It's possible. I did see James throw a mid-range yesterday, so.
Yeah, I like this hole. You got OB all the way down the left side. A little bit long in the trees is OB. There's a ditch right there. And then you got a lot of trouble over here on the right if you happen to get one out of your hand on a turn. But right around the corner of these trees on the right-hand side is going to be your basket. So you can unleash a hyzer flip. If you got the power sidearm, you can unleash that. And I think a lefty's got the nicest shot with the big spike hyzer.
Yeah, you just want to push it forward about 400 feet and then let it flare off to the right just a bit. Make sure you get around that wood line. That's the biggest mistake here, is turning it over into that wood line.
Yeah, and then also we had a tailwind on this, so if you were trying to do a turnover, if you got it over too quick, it turned over.
Looks like Ezra is going roller here. This needs to turn really fast.
That's not what I expected. And it ramps.
Whoa! Gone all the way onto 11s.
And I don't know
if that's OB or not.
I don't know.
I've
never seen a disc ramp like a Grand Theft Auto car, you know, like just over the ditch. That was crazy.
Now Austin here, gonna go backhand.
Oh yeah.
If this gets far enough, this is looking good. But just a bit too short.
He might have a look from there, but there's so many trees in the way.
Yeah, he's just outside the circle. He'll have to do some type of straddle, maybe Anheuser, some sort of.
Ryan again with his Zeus. This is looking really good.
This looks like it'll be far enough. I don't know if it's going to be able to skip far enough to the right.
It's something.
He did correct the power on it.
Looks like he pushed it just a tad too long.
Yeah, he'll be just outside the circle long, but with a better look than what Austin has.
Looks like Chris is going with the roller here as well. I mean, it's a good play.
It's a good play. I think Chris has got a good enough forehand to be able to reach it, but he knows his game better than I do. And this is turning early.
Yeah.
He's going to be right there with Austin. He did make it far enough where he's not in the super thick stuff.
Testy putts right from there. I don't think this is OB.
So looks like Ezra is safe over here.
I wonder how many people have had this look on this hole ever.
One.
It's a great upshot. He's going to have an opportunity to save his par. But that was wild to be over there. I've never seen that.
Oh, Chris trying to give it a look. Gets through the first few trees. Catches another one. He's at least 20 feet out still looking for a par.
And it's just a very tricky putt through all these pines here. Oh just lips out. That was a great run.
Brian gonna try to collect the lone birdie on the card. Just too much hyzer. Needed a bit more speed on that putt to get in there.
It's a great look. Unfortunate. Let's see if Chris has a. Yeah, no questions. Never mind.
Yeah, Chris is. You rarely see him miss one of those. That was a good putt for his par. And par frame here. Seems like that is what you could see a lot on this hole. It's a bit longer. It does favor to a lefty play.
Yeah, my card had no deuces on it as well.
So probably a pretty neutral play, and not a whole lot of twos, not a whole lot of fours.
It actually played over par as a 3.21. There were only 4 deuces on the hole, and you were one of those.
Yeah, so moving on to hole 11, 438 feet. You're moving down this OB creek or ditch that you see on the right side, and then kind of a touchy or tight turn to the right here. You don't want to go too early and catch those trees, or too long, because they can kick you into that ditch there. And once you kind of take that right, you don't want to go too much further right. You want to keep it pushing straight. This is a pretty tough hole to get. I actually played this hole wrong during practice.
Oh, yeah, the short pad over to the left there. We did too, actually.
And this needs to hurry. Oh, and he has
looks OB there.
Kicked some high things and fallen into the ditch, OB.
You might see, maybe not on this card, but I've seen some players lay up on this center fairway, then elect to throw over to save the 3. But I've also seen, everybody try to go for this gap, especially if you're a left-handed player. This is a good gap to go for.
Yeah, and Austin's turned it up great. This is looking like a fantastic shot. And he has gone past the cameraman and is long, probably just inside the circle.
That's a great drive.
That's a crush.
See, the opposite end of the spectrum, he's lefty and throwing sidearm, and I think that's to get over on the disc so he gets a good flex out of it.
Yeah, there's a bit of a headwind coming down this tunnel. This needs to flatten out.
Do not roll.
Yeah.
That was a great action on the disc to stay there.
Could be playing the forehand for a 3 rather than trying to get there.
Right. I went for it, and the headwind, it told me that I was dumb.
Yeah, that headwind makes this gap a lot trickier. You don't want to. It makes the angles touchy because you've got to turn something, but that headwind always plays with the turn.
Oh,
Chris going roller, getting a
action.
really late action in the air, catching the bridge, and rolling over into the next hole's fairway. That was some pretty wild.
That was pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah,
all that stuff to happen.
He's lucky to hit that bridge and not just stop. So Ezra throwing his 3rd shot here after going OB off the tee. Pushes it long and is going to have a pretty tough bogey putt.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard that the ditch that they made OB might have been the first year that was OB, so it tricked a lot of the players that usually came to this course. They weren't used to that place being, or that ditch being OB, so that made this hole a lot harder.
Chris going thumber roller here, it looks like. And that's pretty great touch to be throwing a disc with your thumb.
That was pretty good. I think he probably might have learned that from Dave Greenwell.
A really tough look here. Needs this putt to save his bogey.
Man,
and of course he's going to hit it. That's what he does whenever he needs to hit a putt.
This man putts. He hits big putts.
Yeah, that's a great putt there. Never really in position on the hole and still able to save the bogey after going OB.
Ezra is a fast player. I love his game. He steps up, and this is for a huge birdie here.
Yeah, about 27 feet.
One of 3 birdies on the entire day.
Yeah,
this hole.
Incredible shot from Austin there.
Shout out to Chris Orick and Elliot McCory for the other 2 birdies.
Yeah, good to these guys. Chris just a little high on the putt, still able to get his par in there.
What a great save. He threw a roller that hit the bridge and went crazy right, and then a thumb roller and took the 3.
Yep. If you want to add crazy stats to it, his putt hit the band as well. But either way, a great 3.
He likes it.
Yeah, he likes it. Hole 12, kind of a filler hole maybe. This is one of the holes on the course that just doesn't quite seem right. But you've got this long gap that most likely nobody will take on the card off to the right.
I took it.
There is a straight gap that you see that was off to the left of this that most players will probably go. It's a pretty easy standstill or just a little 2-step, little run up. It does play for the righty backhand better, this forehand here that you're going to see out of Austin.
This was not the easiest hole on the course.
Really?
Great. That's a great shot. You get through the gap, you're going to have a birdie putt. But getting through the gap is the first part of this quest on this hole. Oh, I love these little zones. These old school ESP zones are so money.
Yeah, that's just never left the line.
Great shot by Brian. See, I did take the hyzer route around these trees, and I was the only person that didn't birdie it on my card.
Yeah, whenever that straight gap's there, it's kind of hard to talk yourself into throwing. It seems like you got to throw pretty high to be able to get it back left if you take that hyzer route.
And that's the one mistake you make if you go up the middle. If you do hit anything, you usually hit that tree.
Oh, Ezra going the high hyzer route.
Yeah. Probably throwing a mid. That's
great shot.
Really good shot by Ezra.
He made it look easier than the other shot, so who can blame him?
Yeah, right. And he likes to throw hyzers. This has a chance.
Chris trying to give it a run with that stable putter that he uses for those Anheuser putts that he has.
Austin's starting to come alive here on the back nine.
Yeah,
two in a row.
Brian, after that zone forehand, able to capitalize as well.
Nice birdie, Brian. He has a really good touchy forehand shot with the mid-ranges like the zones.
Chris gonna get his par. Not feeling that, of course, but move on to the next one and try to get a birdie.
Yeah, that's one of the holes. I missed it as well, and I was just like, oh my goodness.
Same.
You cannot miss this hole.
I almost went fast enough where they couldn't film my next shot because I didn't want them to see it.
I really like this hole. It's a placement shot on your first one here on hole 13. You like to throw a mid-range, maybe a putter just to land right around here. So you have a nice, smooth, straight fairway driver up this fairway here. You got the left gap and the right gap. But again, if you hit anything and you kick left or right, you're going to have some troubles getting this hole in par. But
yeah, it doesn't really matter who you are or what you do off the tee. The second shot on this one is difficult.
Yes,
it's not easy to do.
And if your first shot isn't in the right position, like right here,
yeah,
Austin's just a little long, and he's going to have to pitch out, and he's going to be playing for a 4.
He may be able to flex a forehand up that way.
Yeah,
but it's a really specific. It's such a soft shot that it's very hard to land it in the middle where you want to land it at.
And again, we see just pushing just a little further than you want on the landing zone.
And this looks like it might be pushing long as well.
A very touchy shot here on this first.
Yeah, you kind of want to saw it off, or what looks like to be sawn off, so that you can get a flare and still stay in the middle. And this might be slow enough, but it's still looking like it's pushing long as well.
And that's the mistake you make on this hole.
And they probably all think those are pretty good.
Yeah,
because
right.
You can't tell from the tee if you've gone too far or not if you're sitting.
Right.
If you make that corner at all.
He just didn't get
and
over
that
on
is
the
a
disc.
fantastic kick to get him back into the fairway. He was about to have to pitch out.
I mean, going full power on a standstill patent pending is not the easiest shot in the world.
No, definitely not.
And as you see, Ezra's just pitching out to get into the fairway.
Yeah, and that's a great shot. It looked like he had to thread his way through some stuff in there.
Now, Austin might actually have the...
Yeah, he's got the high-speed driver in his hand.
And he fully commits with this force.
This can come back and miss that left side.
Great effort.
Oh, wow, he's still got pretty far up there.
He's putting. Wow.
Just inside or around circle's edge for the birdie look.
What a great shot. Keeps it low.
This looks fantastic if it gets a good... Didn't really flare, but got a good slide, and he's going to have a birdie look as well.
Both of those shots were high-level shots. That was incredible standstill sidearms to get him that far up the fairway, because this fairway is probably 420 feet down the fairway there.
When Ezra just squeaking by everything on that one, it looked like he was about to hit every tree going down there, just enough hyzer on it, and that's a good par save out of him.
And that kick was so fortunate for Chris set him up for this routine upshot here. Leaves it a little short.
Yeah, he got a little bad ground play there, it looked like. Caught a root or something on the ground and kept him from skipping up there. And Austin, this would be just a miraculous birdie if he can drop this in.
Oh, man. What a good effort there for the birdie.
He gets so much power on his putts without really moving at all. He's got so much spin.
Right.
Snap on his wrist. And Brian with a funny stance, long look as well.
We're only 3 birdies on this hole.
Yeah,
all
that second
day.
shot is hard. That
Yeah.
second shot is difficult even if you're in position.
I was fortunate enough to be one of those birdies. This was the 4th hardest hole in the course, so tough hole to get the birdie on. It's a good putt by Chris.
Comeback putt from Austin here. Been knocking him down all day. Good
And
putt.
he's been a scramble master today. The guy's been getting out of all kinds of trouble and saving his pars. It's what you want to. It's what you want to do when you're having troubles off the tee. From where these guys were on their drives, this is a bunch of incredible pars.
Yeah, good pars from the car here. Here we are at hole 14. Another par 4, 526 feet. If you can get straight off the tee, there's room to bite off a lot. If you can go, 400 straight off of the tee, then you're going to have a good look. Just a little soft pitch up to this very elevated basket.
Yeah, I like this hole too. It's perfect for my style of game and probably pretty good for lefties. I've seen rollers on this hole get all the way down and have eagle looks. I've seen hyzer flip shots get down to have eagle looks. You can get the eagle if you have a great shot off the tee, but again, we're at Sockesty here, so any tree kicks are bad, and we'll have you struggling and scrambling.
Austin surprisingly going with a forehand here. He's going with I think he's trying. He might have been trying that roller, the roller out wide.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looked that looked a little off. I don't know if he got it too high.
Fortunate kick though to put him in the fairway. He'll have a lefty shot to.
I'm pretty surprised these guys are going with a forehand here because really the lefty backhand you can just push it straight and let it hyzer towards the basket.
Too high. Kick right.
Yeah.
Kick right.
A game of inches here.
I mean that left gap is a little bit wider than the straight gap.
It did do
you
that.
throw through. But still a little surprising to me.
Yeah, it's actually surprising to me, and I'm not even left-handed.
Ezra going with his P2.
Oh, wow.
Just not getting over on the disc. He didn't fully commit on that.
Yeah, it's been a little more stable for him all day today than he's wanting it to be.
Anxious to see what Chris throws here. Looking like a fairway driver. Actually, it looks like a mid-range.
Yeah, it might be an M2.
What a fortunate kick. He just
Yeah.
didn't get it over the way he wanted it to. It was a good line. It just didn't pan out like he wanted it to. Pan over, I should say.
Now Austin from pretty far back down the fairway. If he can, yeah, that's a great shot. He skips up and gets over to the right side. He's going to be close to the circle, I think.
Oh,
yeah,
he's
right
past
around,
it.
right around circle's edge, past the basket. Ezra dealing with a lot of stuff here. It's a tiny little gap. And he gets
think
up
he
there
might-
pretty good, but he'll probably be pitching up for his par. Now this lefty forehand makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think this is a comet coming out of Brian's hand here.
Look at this thing just glide off to the right.
What an incredible shot.
There's so much left to right movement on that. That's such a touchy shot. He's shown us multiple times throughout the round that great touch he's got on the forehand.
And this is a shot that Chris is underrated. I think Chris has a smooth, amazing sidearm in the woods.
Yeah, there was a great hyzer to hit a gap through those trees. He gets up there for a birdie look as well. Ezra not laying up, running it for the birdie. Gives it a good bid and gets a good break afterwards to catch a tree behind it.
Would you run that putt?
I would not.
I don't think I would either, but the guy's got some So a lot of skill. So if he knows he can make it, nice
Austin
putt.
Turner just outside the circle, probably 35, 36 feet.
Austin said, I've played here before. This is my back 9.
8-foot elevated basket.
Ooh, did he go around that tree? He barely missed. That was a great angle there.
Great birdie after not getting real far off the tee.
Routine.
And Chris able to tap it in, I want to say, but Chris able to put it in as well.
Yeah. And this was from that amazing upshot by Brian with the Comet. Gets the birdie.
Great putt there as well. Couple good saves after some shorter drives. And then Ezra tried to get the birdie too. He's still got his par look right here.
That was a great putt. This was a scary little basket to me. It's just,
I never actually putted on it in practice, and I didn't realize how raised it was. Hole 15, 275 feet. Another just straight shot and don't miss the fairway. There's not a better side to miss on this than there is the other. You don't want to go left or right.
Just want to get through the gap.
Yeah, and the gap is pretty late as well, as far as the 2 trees that you're looking for to make it through, which we are getting to right about now. You want to go right through these 2 trees and then just settle down here. You don't want to throw it too high and get some glide on it because there is OB about 15, 16 feet behind the basket.
One of these other deceiving holes. The hole looks a lot further than you think. And I ended up pulling out my buzz, and it was the right shot for me. This is a great-looking sidearm for Austin.
Yeah, good touch with that high speed. He likes those high-speed forehands.
Yeah, he's been throwing the Raptor all over this course. And I think that is exact. No. Looks like maybe a zone here out of Brian.
Austin Hannum.
Just an unfortunate kick there. And that's the thing that'll happen here. If you hit any tree and you kick left or right, you're going to have it's going to be a hard little outshot to save par.
Yeah, the gap is so late on this hole that even if you throw a good shot down, 2/3 of the fairway, once you get to the gap, you can catch one of those trees and still not have a good look for birdie. And that's what Chris did there. He hit the gap, one of the trees that create the gap at the end of the fairway.
Yeah, I feel like through the gap, you want to have your disc just on some sort of small hyzer to get through that gap, and then it'll flip up late, kind of like this.
Oh, and he catches the other tree.
He just didn't. It didn't flip up, Like it's those 2 trees. You get one of those 2 trees, you're gonna be over in this area. Oh no.
Oh, and you can hear the frustration out of Brian there. You never want to go less than 20 feet.
Right.
That's something you just feel you can avoid. Ezra maybe trying to give it a run, but with that OB behind it, it's pretty hard. It's pretty tough to get it to run it like he has been the rest of the round.
Easy upshot there for Chris. Just take his par and move on. Yeah. Unfortunate little shot there by Brian. He's going to end up taking a bogey, dropping himself down to 5 down for this round. He's still playing a good round.
And Austin for the lone birdie chance.
This man has come to play on the back 9.
Yeah, he stopped the scramble game and started the birdie game.
Right. So it's always a good thing to get on that birdie train.
Ezra almost not taking enough time, but able to get the par anyway.
Chris having troubles with his mini. It's a great putt, Chris, after that trouble with your mini.
Yeah, and moving on to hole 16, another very tough par 4. the way this corner is, it's kind of, you push it out straight, and then you want a very hard hyzer back to the left.
Yeah, this hole plays as the second hardest hole, so I can't wait to see how these guys tackle this because...
Yeah, the drone's past the landing zone at this point. If you've got enough power, it's hard to get there just because of the angle of the hole. So after your first shot, you're going to have most of the time at least 400 feet left to be able to get to the basket.
For sure. This kind of reminds me of hole 5 at Splinter City, except for no road. And the first shot is a lot different, of course, but the second shot is just like hole 5 at Splinter City. And this looks amazing here.
Yeah, as long as this doesn't flare off to the left, yeah, it sits down in the middle, and he's going to have a great look.
Yeah,
looking straight down the fairway.
There's 2 mistakes you can make off the tee here. You can either get around the corner and skip into the woods to the left, or you can push it a little too straight into those trees right in front of Chris and get a bad little kick. But this looks
a little straight, but it does get that good stable flare at the end. He's landing in a bit of a wet spot, so that could affect his footing a little bit, but that's a good position otherwise.
Yeah, and on the round today, as we watch Ezra throw a high spiking hyzer here, it's going to be in a good spot. This hole it played tricks on you because if you did land in the casual water, you had to take it back a little bit, and you wanted every inch closer to the basket you could off the tee shot.
Yeah, because now that I'm looking at these tee shots, I'm remembering it's probably, I said you're going to have at least 400 feet to the basket. It's probably more like 450.
Yeah, and it feels like it's 500 with it being bent over to the right for a right-handed player. Because it's down there where the person isn't orange is where the basket is, and probably another 80 feet. So you have to just crunch this.
And as you can see Ezra trying to, he pulls it just a little bit, kicks over towards the other basket, and he'll have a pretty tricky upshot from there. There's lots of little trees to deal with. And Brian with the bad footing, with the mud and everything, going with a standstill forehand, gets a great move on it, and he's also down there around the other basket. Has a little better look than Ezra, but still could be a little pinched off. Austin pulling out a towel, trying to show him how to get the correct footing. Again, knowing the course well.
Oh, no.
But didn't quite capitalize and pulls on it a little bit. He's going back to that scramble game now from the front 9.
A really, really unfortunate kick all the way over to the right side.
Chris getting a great move on this. This
looks
good
tasty.
angle, and it's going to slide right up there.
What a shot.
Wow. Just inside the circle, probably about 25 feet, 28 feet. Austin with the chance to scramble again and get his par.
From what I thought, it looked like that disc went way into the woods, and it got a fortunate kick, and he has thrown it past the basket on his 3rd shot. That'll be a tough par putt coming from Austin here, but he has shown us that he scrambled really well today. What? Run.
Ezra running it from 80 feet through some trees. And just another super touchy forehand out of Brian. That's so impressive.
And Crystal Zone, it's touchy.
See if Austin can keep it up. He's been making everything, scrambling from everywhere. Just a bit low.
Might have been one of the first mistakes that we've really seen on the putting green from Austin today. He's been canning everything. Huge birdie.
Yeah, that's a great birdie 3 out of Chris there.
One of
Great
only
second
4
shot.
birdies on the hole today. This hole played is a 4.48.
Wow.
So the 3 is super impressive. And
Yeah.
you also got that super birdie.
Parked it.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you. But yeah, that's such a tough hole. You can't really get that far off the tee. And then you move on to a really tough / silly.
Weird, silly,
par
odd.
3. Hole 17, 303 feet. You've got to hit a good gap off the tee.
Weird, man. If you hit by the basket, you could backspin roll down the hill into this OB creek that they've made OB.
Yeah, you see all these flags and ditches all OB through there. So you could see it's really just you know, if you want to try to get the birdie, throw it towards the basket and try to get lucky through those trees. Maybe you'll end up in a good spot for an easy 3 after you roll OB. Or you might get lucky and sneak through. I actually play it off to the right. I just throw something stable and try to have a putt.
Chris actually throws it exactly how you want if you want to get the birdie.
Yeah, so there is actually a gap you can try to hit. It looks like Chris has actually hit that gap.
Yeah, I've seen people lay up, like with a little dump sidearm over to the right side to give themselves a 50, 60 footer for the birdie. Seen people try to go for it, and Ezra, they're making this hole look really, really easy. Because
Ezra as well hitting that gap, making us sound silly talking about the hole.
Because even though we're calling it silly, it did play the hardest on the course today.
You see Brian going to go with the forehand here, trying to bring, this is too high. And that is going to kick OB, and he'll be far enough back that he's not going to have he's not really going to have a par putt.
Yeah, and this is, I think with righty backhand, all we're trying to do is power something through that tree gap that you see on the left side there. We're just trying to push it through this first gap and hyzer something through the trees, and hopefully it skips into the woods and we have a putt. And I think that's what Austin's trying to do with the sidearm.
And it works out pretty well for him. He's inbounds, and
a long
once you're close enough, it's pretty easy to get a disc through that gap, through the trees onto the green. So
comes his rattler here. Great disc for this kind of shot here. And it skipped a little longer. Weird to have a rattler have that much action.
Yeah, it's a really hard packed green right there, or brown, I should say. It's really hard packed, so it moves pretty quick. You see Austin, he's got a lot of room to pitch his par shot up there.
It's a great layup. You don't want to mess with this hole. Like, I don't know, if you miss an air ball something and you trickle down the hill, you're going OB and you've got another putt coming back. Great birdie putt there.
Yeah, we're going to have 2 birdies here, which is that's pretty good for this hole. You don't see many people make it on the green, let alone 2 in a row.
That was a very nice putt from Brian there to save his bogey.
After going OB, you know you have to make that putt.
Yeah, I fortunately got a nice kick and landed over there by those white birch trees and hit my putt, death putt, right at the ditch. Felt good. But to get 2 birdies on this hole on the card, that's incredible.
Yeah.
There were only 10 birdies on the hole all day.
Yeah, good play from the card there. It looks like Ezra and Chris both hit the intended gap, I believe, to make it onto the green. Moving on to hole 18. A really fun par 5. You've got a really tight shot down this 500-foot fairway with a hill on the right and really thick woods on the left. You've got this little cutout area on the left side for your first landing zone if you're not attacking too hard. And once you get, I saw somebody actually make it here off of the drive, so it is pretty attackable. And once you get up to that point, you've still got some trees to converse, to get through, and then you've got some mounds over on the left side.
Most important shot is your tee shot, because if it's anywhere left or right, it's scramble city.
Yeah, this needs to, if it can get a good kick down to the left, that is not a good kick.
Not a good kick.
It'll be kind of a pitch out from there. Maybe able to move forward some.
This didn't get any flip like he wanted.
This is a FD3 that he's throwing.
If that kicked left hard, that could be trouble.
This is such a fun tee shot to throw because you have to keep it low and you get to see its shape. You get to see its shape along this hill, or if you keep it straight. This looks great. If he can get just a slight roll down.
Oh, we got what a wild roll. It backspin.
A bit too much of a roll there to the left side.
Went forward, but went way left more than he wanted. That was a fortunate kick right there in the fairway, though.
Yeah,
as long as you're in the fairway, you can manage the hole.
Yeah, he didn't make it real far, but with it being a shorter par 5, he can still get a birdie from where he's at right here. Probably not anymore. That's early left side. Catches some stuff up high, and he may have made it far enough to have a decent look towards the basket.
Right. And this is.
But it's hard to say. Chris looks like he's going with that thumber roller again.
It looks like this man is in Thailand.
And he's landed it well to cut back towards the hill to keep him out of the left side, and that's probably about as far forward as he could have moved.
Yeah, that was a great outshot. Backward spinning roller that rolled up into the hill to save space there. That's great.
Ezra trying the roller and staying left side, and he didn't really do himself a whole lot of favors there.
Frustrations on this hole can really happen at any time. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is fun, dude. Go.
Austin going forehand roller.
Full send with his body, just getting it out there. That's going to be a great shot.
Yeah, he's up there by the pin. There's a position on top of where those guys were sitting as well. It's almost pin height to the other one, so he'll have a decision whether he wants to run a long one or just kind of lay up for his so he can get an easy birdie.
Right. It looks like Chris is going with a thumber here to maybe attack to try to get his birdie. And this looks great. Nice shot and the forward roll. He's going to have a long look for a birdie. From that crazy tee shot where he ended up was insane. It was a very, very incredible outshot.
That's a great shot after he's been kind of struggling down the fairway. That's a great upshot. Now he's got a choice as well. Brian did get far enough to be able to get enough on his disc, and he gets a pretty good stop there. He's going to be one of the few putts to not putt on an elevated basket here as he stays on top of that shorter mound. Ezra did decide to run it and might pay for it. He didn't hit anything and went on past it. Austin saw that, knew exactly what to do.
Yeah. That was a great layup from Austin.
And Chris gonna have the birdie chance here. You know he's running it.
Oh, no.
Oh, just a bit short.
Sit
Gets
down.
a bit of a roll, but he does stay inside the circle. Ryan from the mound.
Oh, and he's had a couple of lip outs like that today. Just not fully hyzering in like he wants, and it just lips out on the side a couple of times today. Man, Ezra went a little further.
And he's going to have to lay up from that position. So that's he's taking a big number here.
It's Chris for his par. It's a great par save after his drive. I know he wanted the birdie, but it's a good save.
No nerves there. Dead center putt.
It's getting later in the day. Brian put them shades on, so that sun
put the
wouldn't
shades
blind
on,
him
got
out.
the par putt.
I think he might have borrowed Austin's shades, actually. Teammates right there, helping another teammate. Love to see that. Yeah, Ezra a little frustrated with that 7 he just took. That's a relatively easy par 5.
Definitely passed through my head.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. And we do have a 19th hole for the course now. So after that fairly easy but pretty tough if you get off the fairway par 5, we move on to hole 19. Nice little ace run to finish your round, 260 feet. There are 3 Mando trees down the left side to keep you from going out towards the basketball courts and the rest of the park. The fence down the right side plays OB as well, but neither one really come into play. You've got the lefty hyzer or the righty hyzer, just whatever you feel comfortable with to run up here and try to get you an ace to finish the round.
Easiest hole on the course today was hole 19. It's a simple shot for most pros, and we'll see how everybody attacks this one. Love to see another basket hit. We've had so many.
Yeah, this would be a good one to have another one on.
If Chris can get this one, yeah, 9 down is going to be a solid round coming from Chris today.
Yeah, great round out of Chris.
Flare skip. That's going to be a pretty routine birdie putt from Brian right there.
Yeah, kind of what you expect to see here, just everybody getting inside that group of trees that's behind the basket.
Yeah, might have got some pole action
Not quite
there.
basket, but we got a pole hit here. So this is kind of a feel-good birdie to finish the round, or it can be a feel-bad par.
Right.
But as you can see here, most likely we're just going to get a bunch of feel-good birdies to walk to your car on a good note.
Exactly. Yeah, I think what a fantastic, fun round we had today. 2 lefties, the robot chicken, a bunch of muscles from Austin and Ezra.
Got to showcase the woods down here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, Sacastee's a fun place to play disc golf. It can hurt you, but it can also reward you like it has Chris and Austin and Brian today.
Yeah, it's not quite what the players are used to seeing on tour.
Right.
Usually it's not quite as tight and it's a little longer, so it's a different type of play. But they're still showing you why they're the ones that are out there doing it all.
For sure. Ezra cleans up his birdie, shoots a 3 down. Not what he wanted, but not a bad score.
Yeah, Chris Dickerson with the 9 down, winning the card. Austin Turner 7 down with a good back 9 after scrambling for the front.
I think Chris Dickerson is now tied for the lead after 2 rounds tomorrow, going into tomorrow, I should say. So.
Yeah, fun watching these guys out at Sacaste. The 3rd and final round will be back at Splinter City, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys out there.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. See you guys soon.